get in here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite stealth bomber's favorite nerd. And today we are looking at the G Creations Megatron, which is called Tyrant. Not extremely imaginative there, is it? But nonetheless, it is beautiful. That's not to say it's great, although we'll get there. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But the detailings, the weight, the look is breathtaking. This is on loan to me from Extra Zero. You can follow him on Twitter. He's also part of the ROC Hangout Show, the Realm of Collectors Hangout Show. At least he has been as of late. And he's a nice addition on there. So there's actually a little bit of story to this. He got this from GCI, contacted me, asked if I wanted to take a look at it. I said definitely. He hit up GCI, asked if GCI would send it to me, and then I would send it on its way to him. That's the strength of community working together, folks. So that's definitely appreciated. Shout out to him and GCI, to be fair. That being said, very little on the accessory side. However, they are appropriate and nice. We're going to talk about the wing accessories later on in the review, but nice display stage. We're going to get to that. That's my one beef with it. Is the good thing is it's pegged in, so it's not going to go anywhere. The bad thing is, at least as far as I can tell, there's no way to get this to really lock in place. Maybe if I tighten this screw, you know, and if you have it, it might be worth tightening the screw. I don't like to tighten other people's screws, if you know what I'm saying, so to speak. But I do say that it is very nice. It has some, if you click, what is it? Click this, yeah. Then you can change the angle of the stand. You know, like, just really, really cool. It's 3 pieces. They all come apart. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but it's just, I'm very tempted to say best Transformers display stand to date. But you just click this trigger here, and then that allows you to, let me make sure I'm saying that right. No, pull it back, I'm sorry. And that allows you to rotate it down here. I just wish that, we'll take this off for just a second. I wish that this piece here was ratcheted, and it might be fixable once you just tighten that screw a bit. But very nice, tons of translucent plastics and stuff to kind of break up the color scheme. I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of man. Little Al Pacino reference. So, other than that, we have this. Beautiful. You do have all these little circle pieces. They can be a little distracting. It's not distracting to me, but I can see how someone could have an issue with that. Translucent plastics here. Tons of really tight, sharp purple paint work throughout. We have the red paint on the cockpit. Has a good weight to it. I was a bit surprised when I went to go pick up the box at just how much weight there was to it. And then these are the wing pieces, and they just clip on, but you can extend these wings here for kind of a more, crazy dynamic look or whatever, or collapse them. Other than that, it doesn't really have a whole lot of bells and whistles, but it is surprisingly satisfying to hold in hand. Size comparison wise, there he is with Tiger Track, so big old mamma jamma. And before we transform something that's a huge robot that turns into a stealth bomber, we will say the collector's prayer. Dear Lord, before I embark on this mission, I pray to you that the plastic stays strong, that the joints stay stable, and may my fingers be blessed with your hand, that they remain small and dainty and graceful and able to get into nooks and crannies that Generation Toys has no doubt created to flip small panels out in order to bring this thing together. May this thing not break, that I won't have to pay to replace it of a figure that I don't even have any intention of owning. And may I not make too many mistakes that I'll have to constantly account for all day in the comment section of tomorrow's video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him transformed. Take the wings off, and they're 2 accessory pieces. They come separate in the box, so that should be pretty obvious. And then flip these panels up, and they're on double hinges, so flip them all the way back around onto themselves. And then undo this stuff here. This becomes the arms. Just sort of separate them out. And then these become the legs. But you have to turn them around and rotate here as well. On the back, this stuff here flips up. It's hard hard for me to, there we go. Bring the feet out. Fold this stuff down. I got my finger caught in there. To form the front part of the shins. So let me try to get it on this side. This is it. There we go. Come on, girl. And feet out and rotate that down. Fold these out. This plugs into the back there, and on this side, you want to twist the toes. I hope that some of that was in screen. Good grief. Twist the toes around. I'm not watching what I'm doing. And rotate this up. It's on a double hinge. And there's a heel spur as well that flips around. And then these come back and plug in. And it's a matter of just having it lined up properly. There. One thing I forgot to mention on these panels here, these flip up. And this is where it starts to get a little challenging. So it's not impossible, but bring this down, flip this in, spin this 180, and then you have to open these and rotate this down on a double hinge and open up these flaps inside. One, and they're supposed to give you a little bit. Let me get my tool. Two. There. And I'll tell you, that doesn't feel great, but that is what you're kind of looking for there. Split the shoulders here, and you can see the hinges that they come down on. This comes down, and you need to get the head up. This will come down and plug in here, there, and everywhere. All right, so that got it. Just try to get one and then the other. And then bring this head back, and then you kind of want to angle it properly so that it plugs into the top. Then you can fill out these flank pieces and plug the crotch in to the crotch and to the abdomen. So now we fill out the shoulders by opening this up and bringing this silver piece out, and then closing back up. Same for the other side. Flip up. Flip out. And then recollapse. And then the arms. So bring this down, flip this up. You got to get this piece out and around, and then this piece back down, up, down, open, flip that out and around and back down. And then our favorite part of the transformation, this is on a double hinge, so this rocks down and the hands flip out of the forearms. And then this closes back up. And I think you're supposed to leave this down, but maybe you can just rock it back up. I guess it depends on what you want to do. I'm not sure what the official transformation is. I'll try to figure that out. But either way, nice to have the option. Same for the other side. Open this up, flip the hand down, Close it up. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at her. Well, I guess I should show you the accessory first. So it's these two pieces. They came off the wings. Slide this down. Flip this over. Same for this side. And then they peg into one another. And then they both can peg onto the arm, but we'll show this after we look at the figure. All right, so let's talk about them. We got silver paint on the face, and we have the purple line paint on the top of the head, which looks great. We do have... Well, I thought we had that. Huh. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. But this switch turns his lights on, like in his eyes, and they just worked when off camera, and then now I go to do it on camera, and it's definitely not working. But, oh, there we go. There we go. But something ain't right there. Just as a heads up, I did take the liberty of tightening the screw a little bit in the back of the head, which probably would fix the connection, and now the eyes light up just fine. Anyway, head is on a hinge swivel. You get up to there. You get down the slightest bit maybe, and then you get the swivel. You do get a bit of a waist swivel, even though that stuff locks in, so that's nice. All the purple line work shows through. We have silver paint here on the chest. We have red paint for the cockpit stuff. All that looks good. The shoulders, you get a swivel here. The issue that I have with this guy kind of throughout is that, like, not everything is super solid in terms of the connection. Like, things have a point to kind of a way of being a little fiddly. So you have a swivel here that gets you all the way around. The purple paint, translucent, purple and silver paint inside, silver paint all on the arms, which looks fantastic. And then you have an outward movement on the shoulder that gets you just, I mean, you can probably move that, and that gets you all the way out to 90 degrees. So no problems there. Bicep swivel. A single hinged elbow that's actually sculpted pretty well, and it has some gold paint inside of the joint and some gunmetal gray, so that looks really good. And then you have almost the full range there at the elbow, so that's nice. And then you have purple paint inside on the silver. You have a wrist swivel. The fingers are on a base pin knuckle. The index finger has a second hinge, so that's nice. And then you get a little outward movement on the wrist too. Like, I get, you know what I mean, as part of the transformation, but, or is it not? No, it's not. So that's cool. That's a nice little afterthought. And then you have the purple detailings that we talked about already on the jet. Same for the other side. Silver paint there on the crotch. Silver paint all on the legs. The black, I believe, is plastic, and then the purple paint is added. This purple paint is chipping a bit. They are universal joints for hips. You get out to there. I mean, almost the full Van Damme. I don't think you'd want much more. It's frictioned. And then you get ratchet forward and back. That gets you out to there. So not the worst. No thigh swivel. You get it right above the knee. Nothing wrong with that, really. And then you have some translucent plastic, some purple plastic. I mean, some purple paint. Purple paint all on inside the calves and outside the calves. You have this silver, gold, gunmetal, and purple paint on the shins. So nothing to turn your nose up at there. And then we have purple translucent with, it looks like, it might be plastic. I can't tell, but at least black paint or black plastic, and then silver paint on the translucent, which always looks good to me. And then we have the feet. So you get an ankle tilt down, the slightest bit of an ankle tilt up. You have this heel spur that you can kind of rotate to get what you need, and then a pretty significant ankle rocker. So yeah, all in all, I think it's articulation and stuff and paint and deco. It works beautifully, pretty clean from the back. No real complaints there. My complaints come down to kind of the solidity of it, but it's a relatively minor one. Size comparison wise, there he is with G Creations Prime and Red Alert. Hope that helps. Final thoughts wise, let's talk about the negatives. The main negative for me is just the lack of a lot of it to get stuck in, if you know what I'm saying. Like, so the calf pieces, they get stuck into the back piece. However, if you're going to manipulate it and stuff and you're pushing around, you can easily bring it out of its, proper position. Same for the other side. This piece swivels, which might help at some level for articulation, but I haven't found really a way to make it, I don't know, to make it any better than any other way. And I guess these are supposed to be slid up on both sides. But that's not it. You know, this piece isn't stuck in. It's just sort of hanging there. This piece isn't stuck in. If you go to squeeze him, it's going to... Well, now, of course, it's not going to do it. But trust me, when I was doing it earlier, this piece was getting pushed inside, and then I had to get my little tool out and pop it back out. This piece here on the shoulder doesn't plug in, obviously, and that's for articulation, but it can get jammed up actually underneath this piece here that's on the outside bicep, so that becomes a little problematic. And then in order to really get it out, you kind of got to get something to move it. And there's just a lot of that. Oh, the shoulders here, like these pieces are plugged in here in the front, but there's nothing really plugging it in the back, so it can easily, as you're going to manipulate it, kind of come unplugged. There's just a lot of that. And that is a bit of a bummer, you know, like it makes it for a little bit more of a frustrating piece. That doesn't mean that I think it's bad. I should talk about the stand a little bit too. I mean, this does come apart into pieces, and these pieces also slide out, like if you want them standing. I'll try to show that next, and then this piece actually does come completely off, if that's your thing. I don't know if it has other pieces that they plan on making it kind of a modular thing, but I guess it's worth noting. But yeah, that's my main negative. Like, I think the transformation is not a negative. There's a lot of, like, even though the transformation isn't easy, I don't necessarily think it's a negative. It's just challenging and kind of rewarding and fun. It's just the lack of solidity of all of the moving pieces that kind of feels a little, I don't know, less finished than normal. Positives wise, though, I think it's painted beautifully. I think the articulation works for the most part across the board. I think that Generation Toys continues to provide an interesting and unique transformation that's fun, challenging, rewarding, and relatively intuitive. I think the sculpt is beautiful. I think the alt mode is outstanding. I think it cleans up like a champ. It has a strong presence, and the materials feel good. We have some die cast, we have some translucence, we have some hard ratchets, etc., etc. So it pretty much checks most of my boxes. I only wish a lot of this plugged in a bit better. And who knows, maybe it can if you mess around with it continually. I just don't have that kind of time. And at kind of first glance, it just doesn't. Let me talk about this display stage just a little bit more. So, like, there's also this piece here that's like an adapter that you can plug in to grab his hips, and then you can expand this here, and this will lock in. And then in order to unlock it, you unclip it. Like, it's easily the best Transformers display stage that I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, it poses, it looks intimidating. It's a strong sculpt. A little squeaky squeak there. I didn't notice that before. But it's just... Yeah, see, there's something coming unplugged again. But that's my only complaint, is that stuff comes unplugged. But like, if you're like, it's kind of like not as bad as the cup that we just looked at recently, but just in the sense of, like, if you're a, you know, open and display kind of collector, it's awesome. If you're going to play around with this guy on the floor, you're going to have to constantly kind of clean him up as you go. But it is a beautiful Megatron. It's a beautiful IDW Megatron. It's always worthwhile to see what G Creations has planned. But, you know, after that Prime, I'm a little scared of G Creations at the moment. But, yeah, really, really nice effort. My only complaint is that it doesn't stick together under play as much as I would prefer it to. Hope that helps. Thanks to GCI. Thanks to Extra Zero. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.